Hello, beloved. This is God's message, here to guide you into a sacred journey of rest tonight. Imagine standing in a golden field at twilight, the sky painted with hues of lavender and rose, each blade of grass shimmering with the last light of day, whispering God's tender promise. You are mine, and I am with you. This is no ordinary sleep story. It is a divine invitation to rest in the gentle arms of the Creator who never sleeps, who holds the stars in place, who knows your every thought, who loves you with an everlasting love. God, who formed the mountains and breathed life into the flowers, sees you, his cherished child, and longs to cradle your weary heart in his infinite peace. Tonight, you will drift into a deep, restful sleep, wrapped in his promises, guided by the sacred words of Scripture, and soothed by prayers that echo his love. Prepare your space. Dim the lights, let the curtains fall, feel the cool air brush your skin. Lie down, let your body soften, your head sink into the pillow as if you're resting on that golden field, the grass cradling you, the sky above a canopy of God's care. Breathe deeply, inhale his presence, like the scent of wildflowers on the breeze. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale your cares. Let them drift away like petals on the wind, carried far from your heart, far from your mind. Release every worry, every fear, for God is here, watching over you, his love a shield, his peace a lullaby, calling you to rest in him. Are you ready to sleep in the gentle arms of God, to let his love carry you into dreams of his kingdom? Breathe slowly, and let's begin this sacred journey together. Tonight, you're not just going to sleep, you're entering a holy sanctuary where your soul can find true rest, a place where God's love restores, his peace renews, and his hope rebuilds every broken piece of your life. Picture the field stretching endlessly before you, wildflowers dancing in the twilight, their colors fading into the soft glow of dusk, each petal a testament to God's care, each blade of grass a whisper of his peace, each breeze a reminder of his love as he calls to you softly. Come, my child, rest in me, for I am here always. Every word spoken tonight is a gentle melody, every scripture a soothing balm, every prayer a tender embrace, guiding you into the depths of a restful, healing sleep. A sleep where you can let go of all striving, all fear, all worry, knowing that God sees your heart, knows your struggles, and longs to hold you close. He sees the weight of your day, the challenges at work, the pressures at home, the dreams that feel out of reach, the fears that keep you awake. And he yearns for you to hand them to him, to lay every burden at his feet, to let him carry them for you, as 1 Peter chapter 5:7 urges. Cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you. Let your head nestle deeper into your pillow, feel your shoulders release their tension. Let your neck soften, as though you are cradled in the everlasting arms of the Almighty, whose love never wavers, never fades, never fails. God never sleeps, never slumbers. His eyes are always upon you, his heart beating with a love that is eternal, a love that holds you through every moment, as Psalm 121:4 assures us. Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. Through Scripture and prayer, you will hear his promises tonight, each one a radiant reminder of his unchanging love, his infinite care, his boundless peace, calling you to rest in him. Breathe slowly now. Inhale the peace that flows like a gentle river from his throne, a peace that washes over you like a soft wave. Exhale the stress that clings to your heart. Let it drift away like the twilight fading into night, carried far from your body, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul. Imagine standing before Jesus, his eyes filled with compassion, his hands outstretched to you. You hand him your troubles, every worry about tomorrow, every ache from today, every fear that weighs you down, every doubt that clouds your mind. He receives them with a tender smile, his voice soft and reassuring. Come to me, all who are weary, and I will give you rest, as Matthew 11:28 promises with divine love. This story is more than a path to sleep. It is a sacred journey, a renewal of your heart and mind in the presence of your Creator, who knows you intimately, who formed you with love, who calls you his own. Open your heart like a wild flower blooming in the field, ready to receive the peace that only God can give, a peace that surpasses all understanding, a peace that guards your heart, a peace that guides you into rest. Breathe deeply. Feel his presence envelop you, like the twilight breeze on a warm evening, refreshing your spirit, calming your mind, soothing your soul. He is here, right now, his love surrounding you through every moment of this night, his care a shield against all fear, a fortress around your heart, a lullaby for your soul. Rest, beloved child of God, for he is watching over you with unending devotion, his gaze never turning away, his hand never letting go, his love never ending. Stretch your arms gently, stretch your legs, let every muscle soften, every tension fade into the quiet of this moment, every part of you surrendering to his care, as if you are lying in that golden field, the grass beneath you, the stars above you, God's love all around you. Each breath you take is a reminder. You are safe, you are held, you are loved beyond measure. You are cherished by the King of Kings, the Creator of all things, the God who never sleeps. Let sleep come to you now, a precious gift from the one who holds you close, who guards you through the night, who loves you with an everlasting love. Take a deep breath. Let peace flow through you, washing away all cares, all doubts, all fears, leaving only the warmth of his love, the light of his peace, the promise of his rest. You are loved beyond measure, protected by his mighty hand, chosen as his own, a treasure in his sight, a delight to his heart, as you rest in this golden field, the twilight fading, the stars emerging, God's love your sanctuary. Breathe slowly. Let every worry dissolve like the last light of day. Let every fear fade into the night. Let every sorrow melt away as you rest in his gentle arms, your heart lightening, your soul calming, your spirit lifting to the heavens. As you rest in the golden field, feeling the twilight fade into a starlit night, the wild flowers cradling you, God's love surrounding you like a gentle breeze, let us now turn to the eternal nature of the one who holds you in his hands, a God whose boundless tenderness transcends time, whose everlasting presence offers a peace that never fades, guiding you deeper into rest through the wonder of his infinite care. Imagine the field now stretching toward a distant horizon, where the sky meets the earth in a dance of light, the stars above beginning to twinkle like a million lanterns, each one a testament to the Creator's eternal hand, each one a whisper of his tender love. As Psalm 136:9 reminds us, the moon and stars to rule over the night, for his steadfast love endures forever. Beyond the field, a mighty mountain rises, its snowy peak glowing in the moonlight, its slopes a monument to God's unchanging nature, its presence a reminder of his eternal care, a care that has been and will always be, as Psalm 92 declares. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever you had formed the earth and the world, from everlasting to everlasting, you are God. The mountain stands as a sentinel through the ages, its snowy crown a crown of glory, its rocky heart a foundation of strength, its beauty a song of God's tenderness, calling you to rest in the one who is eternal, who is love, who is peace. Breathe deeply now. Inhale the wonder of his eternal nature. Let it fill your lungs, your heart, your soul. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale any doubts that linger. Let them drift away like the mist over the mountain, carried far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul. God is not bound by the fleeting moments that slip through our fingers, not held by the ticking of time that we chase. 1,000 years in his sight are but a moment, a whisper of eternity, as Psalm 94 tells us. For 1,000 years in your sight are but as yesterday when it is past, or as a watch in the night. He stands beyond time, weaving past, present and future into a tapestry of love, a tapestry where every thread of your life is held in his tender hands, every moment known, every tear seen, every hope cherished. Imagine time as a silver river flowing through the field, its waters shimmering under the starlight, its currents endless, yet God stands above its flow, unchanging, unshaken, eternal in his majesty, eternal in his tenderness, eternal in his love, as Hebrews 13:8 assures us. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. He is a constant star in the ever-changing sky, a steady hand in the shifting sands, a gentle whisper in the storms of life, a loving Father who calls you to rest in his eternal care. Let this truth wrap around you like a warm shawl, comforting you with the knowledge that your God is eternal, his tenderness unending, his love unbreakable, his peace ever-present, never fading, never leaving, always holding you close. Rest in the assurance that the one who set the stars in their courses, who carved the mountains with his hands, who breathed life into the wild flowers at your feet, is the same God who holds you tonight, who whispers peace into your heart, who sings over you with joy, as Zephaniah 3:17 declares. The Lord your God is in your midst, a mighty one who will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you by his love. He will exult over you with loud singing. Breathe slowly. Feel his eternal tenderness surround you, a love as vast as the starlit sky, a care as gentle as the breeze, a peace as deep as the mountain's roots, a hope as bright as the moon above, calling you to rest in him. Picture the heavens stretching endlessly above the field, the Milky Way a ribbon of light weaving through the stars, a celestial dance that sings of God's infinite glory, his boundless creativity, his unending love, as Psalm 19:1 proclaims, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the sky above proclaims his handiwork. Every star, every planet, every comet streaking through the night, all are his creation, a masterpiece painted on the canvas of eternity, a testament to his eternal nature, a song of his tender care, a melody that calls you to rest in the one who made it all. Yet in all his vastness, he sees you, beloved, as the crown of his creation. As Psalm 8:4 marvels, "What is man that you are mindful of him, and the Son of Man that you care for him?" You are not a mere whisper in the universe. You are a treasure in God's eyes, a child he loves with an eternal love, a love that spans the ages, a love that holds you close, a love that quiets you with its tenderness, a love that calls you to rest. Breathe deeply now. Let the awe of his eternity fill you. Let his tenderness wash over you like the moonlight on the field, calming every fear, soothing every doubt, lifting every burden as you rest in his eternal care. God's eternal nature means he is never surprised, never caught off guard. He knew you before you were formed, as Psalm 139:16 says, "Your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book were written, every one of them, the days that were formed for me, when as yet there was none of them." He planned your life before time began, weaving a story of love, a story of tenderness, a story of peace, a story where you are held in his eternal hands, never to be let go, never to be forgotten, always to be loved. Imagine standing at the foot of the mountain, the snowflakes falling gently around you, each one a whisper of God's tenderness, each one a reminder of his eternal care, each one a call to rest in the one who made the snow, who made the stars, who made you, who loves you with an everlasting love. He is not swayed by the worries that trouble us, not shaken by the storms that shake our world. He is eternal, and his tenderness is eternal, a tenderness he offers to you tonight, a tenderness that quiets your heart, a tenderness that calls you to rest. Breathe slowly. Inhale his tenderness. Exhale your cares. Let them be carried away on the breeze, far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul. Rest in the truth that God's eternal nature is your refuge, your strength, your peace, your hope, your love, as you lie in the golden field, the mountain in the distance, the stars above. God's tenderness all around you, calling you to rest in him as you rest in the golden field, marveling at the eternal nature of God, the mountain in the distance glowing under the starlit sky, its snowy peak a symbol of his unchanging tenderness. Let us now turn to the infinite love and gentle care he pours out upon you, a love that knows no bounds, a care that wraps you like a warm embrace, guiding you deeper into rest through the assurance of his unwavering devotion. Imagine the field now bathed in the soft light of dawn, the first rays of sunlight breaking over the horizon, casting a golden glow across the wildflowers, each petal shimmering with dew, each blade of grass sparkling like a jewel, as if the dawn itself is a reflection of God's love, a love that rises anew each morning, a love that holds you close through every moment, as Lamentations 3:22-23 proclaims. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The sunlight touches your face, its warmth a gentle kiss, its light a tender reminder of the one who loves you with an everlasting love, a love that sees you, knows you, cherishes you, As Psalm 139:1 says, "O Lord, you have searched me and known me." You are not a stranger to God, beloved. You are his child, his delight, his treasure, held in the palm of his hand, loved with a love that never fades, never falters, never fails. Breathe deeply now. Inhale the warmth of his love. Let it fill your heart. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale any fears that linger. Let them drift away like the morning mist over the field, carried far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul. Imagine a quiet stream winding through the field, its waters clear and gentle, flowing over smooth pebbles, each ripple a reflection of God's care, each murmur a whisper of his love, as Psalm 23:2-3 assures us. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. The stream invites you to sit beside it, to dip your fingers into its cool waters, to feel its soothing touch, as if God himself is washing away every worry, every fear, every burden, replacing them with his peace, his hope, his love, his care. Picture yourself sitting there, the grass soft beneath you, the sunlight warm above, the stream's melody a lullaby, God's presence all around, his love a gentle current, his care a tender embrace, holding you close, keeping you safe, guiding you into rest. Nothing can separate you from this love, not the trials of the day, not the fears of the night, not the doubts that whisper in your mind, as Romans 8:38-39 declares, "For I am sure that neither death nor life, nor angels nor rulers, nor things present nor things to come, nor powers, nor height nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God in Christ Jesus our Lord." Let this truth settle over you like the sunlight on the field. Let it wrap around you like the warmth of the dawn. Let it fill you with peace, knowing that God's love is eternal, his care is unending, his presence is unshakable, his tenderness is your refuge. Breathe slowly, inhale his care. Let it fill your heart. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale your worries. Let them flow downstream, carried far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul. God's love is not distant. It is near, as close as the sunlight on your skin, as constant as the stream beside you, as faithful as the dawn that rises each morning, as tender as a parent's embrace, as John 3:16 reminds us. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have eternal life. He gave his Son for you, beloved, to draw you into his eternal love, to fill you with his gentle care, to guide you into his peace, to hold you through every moment of your life, to call you his own, to love you with a love that never ends. Imagine him sitting beside you now, his presence a warm glow, his hand resting gently on your shoulder, his voice soft and tender. My child, I love you. I care for you. I am with you always. As Matthew 28:20 promises, Behold, I am with you always, to the end of the age. Feel his love surround you. Feel his care envelop you. Feel his peace fill you. Feel his hope lift you as you rest beside the stream, the field around you, the sunlight above you, God's tenderness all around you, calling you to rest in him. Let your body relax further Feel your arms soften, your legs release, every muscle surrendering to his care, every tension fading into the warmth of his love, every worry dissolving into his peace, as if you are floating in the stream, the water supporting you, the sunlight warming you, God's love holding you, his care surrounding you. Picture a single wildflower beside the stream, its petals delicate, its color vibrant, a symbol of God's care, a reminder of his love, as Matthew 6:28-29 says, "See how the flowers of the field grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these." If God cares for the wildflowers with such tenderness, how much more does he care for you, his beloved child, his precious creation, his delight, his treasure. Let this truth fill you with peace. Let it quiet your heart. Let it call you to rest as you lie in the field, the stream beside you, the wildflower a reminder, God's love your sanctuary, his care your refuge, his peace your lullaby. Breathe deeply, inhale his love, hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale your cares. Let them drift away with the stream, carried far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul. Rest in the truth that God's love and care are eternal, his tenderness your shelter, his peace your rest, his hope your light, as you lie in the golden field, the dawn breaking, the stream flowing. God's love all around you, calling you to rest in him. As you rest beside the quiet stream in the golden field, feeling the warmth of God's love in the dawn's gentle light, the wildflower beside you a symbol of his tender care, let us now turn to the profound peace and hope that flow from his eternal heart, gifts of grace that wrap you in serenity, lifting your spirit with the promise of his unending presence, guiding you deeper into rest through the assurance of his gentle touch. Imagine the field now stretching toward a serene valley, where the stream flows into a tranquil lake, its surface a mirror of the morning sky, reflecting hues of pink and gold, each ripple a whisper of God's peace, each reflection a glimmer of his hope, as Philippians 4:7 promises with divine comfort. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. The lake is surrounded by rolling hills, their slopes covered in soft grass, their peaks kissed by the rising sun, a landscape of peace, a sanctuary of hope, a testament to the one who holds all things in his hands, who offers a peace that calms every storm, a hope that lights every darkness, a love that endures forever. Breathe deeply now. Inhale the peace of this valley. Let it fill your lungs, your heart, your soul. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale the anxieties that cling to you. Let them drift away like the clouds above the lake, carried far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul. Picture a single white dove flying over the lake, its wings catching the sunlight, its flight a dance of grace, a symbol of God's Holy Spirit, bringing peace that settles over you like a soft blanket, as John 16:33 assures us. I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart. I have overcome the world. The dove soars above the valley, its presence a reminder of God's promise, a call to rest in his peace, a whisper of hope that lifts your spirit, knowing that God is in control, that he has overcome every trial, that his peace is yours to hold, his hope yours to cherish. Let this peace settle over you now, like the sunlight on the lake. Let it wrap around you like the warmth of the dawn. Let it fill you with calm, knowing that God's peace is eternal, his hope unending, his love unshakable, his care a fortress around your heart. Breathe slowly. Inhale his hope. Let it fill your heart. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale your doubts. Let them fade like the shadows on the hills, carried far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul. God's peace is not fleeting. It is a steady river, a gentle tide, a constant light. As Isaiah 26:3 declares, "You keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you." He is never shaken by the storms that trouble us, never moved by the fears that weigh us down, for he holds all things in his tender hands, offering a peace that guards your heart, a hope that renews your spirit, a love that sustains you through every moment. Imagine standing at the edge of the lake, the water lapping gently at your feet, the hills rising around you, their slopes a canvas of green, their peaks a crown of gold, a picture of God's unshakable peace, a peace that stands firm against the winds of worry, the waves of fear, the shadows of doubt, as Psalm 29:11 proclaims, "The Lord gives strength to his people. The Lord blesses his people with peace." The valley is a sanctuary, a place where God's peace flows like the lake's waters, where his hope rises like the morning sun, where his love surrounds you like the hills, calling you to rest in him, to trust in him, to be still in his presence. Breathe deeply. Feel his peace flow through you, like the lake's gentle waves, refreshing you, renewing you, restoring you, filling you with calm as you stand in the valley, the sunlight warming you, the hills protecting you, God's love holding you, his hope lifting you. God's hope is like the dawn breaking over the hills, its light chasing away the shadows, promising new beginnings, fresh mercies, endless possibilities, as Jeremiah 29:11 assures us. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." Your struggles do not surprise him. He redeems them, weaving them into his eternal story of love, a story where you are held, where you are cherished, where you are given hope, a hope that lifts you above despair, a hope that carries you through every trial, a hope that shines like the sun above the valley. Imagine a field of daisies blooming on the hillside, their white petals glowing in the sunlight, their golden centers a burst of joy, a picture of God's hope blooming in your life, a hope that rises with the dawn, a hope that endures through the night, a hope that promises a future filled with his love, as Romans 15:13 declares, "May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that by the power of the Holy Spirit you may abound in hope." Let this hope fill you now, like the sunlight flooding the valley, warming you, lifting you, reminding you that God is working all things for your good, that his plans for you are good, that his hope is your anchor, as Hebrews 6:19 says, "We have this as a sure and steadfast anchor of the soul, a hope that enters into the inner place behind the veil." Rest in this truth, beloved, that God's peace and hope are yours, eternal gifts from an eternal God, a peace that guards you, a hope that sustains you, a love that holds you as you stand by the lake, the valley around you, the daisies blooming. God's peace your refuge, His hope your light. Let your body relax further. Feel your arms soften, your legs release, every muscle surrendering to His care, every tension fading into the sunlight, every worry dissolving into His peace, as if you are floating on the lake, the water supporting you, the sunlight warming you, God's presence holding you, His love surrounding you. You are safe in His eternal embrace, beloved, your heart held by the one who gives peace, your soul lifted by the one who gives hope, your life woven into His eternal story of love, as you rest in the serene valley, the lake reflecting the sky, the hills standing guard, God's love all around you, calling you to rest in Him. Breathe deeply. Feel His peace fill you. Let His hope settle over you like a gentle tide, covering you completely, guiding you into rest as you prepare for the sacred journey ahead. The promise of His kingdom in your dreams, the warmth of His love in your heart. As you stand by the tranquil lake in the serene valley, feeling the peace of God settle over you like the morning light, the hope of His promise blooming like daisies on the hillside, let us now embark on a sacred journey through the Psalms, ancient songs of comfort and praise that echo God's eternal love, His tender care, His boundless peace, guiding you deeper into rest through the timeless words of His heart, a melody that soothes your soul and leads you to sleep in His gentle arms. Imagine the valley now bathed in the golden glow of midday, the lake reflecting a sky of endless blue, the hills around you alive with the songs of birds, their melodies blending with the rustling of leaves, as if the earth itself is singing the psalms, each note a prayer, each breath a hymn, each moment a reminder of God's presence, His peace, His hope, His love, as Psalm 96:11-12 proclaims. Let the heavens be glad, and let the earth rejoice. Let the sea roar, and all that fills it. Let the field exult, and everything in it. The valley becomes a sanctuary of song, a place where the psalms come alive, where God's words wrap around you like a warm embrace, where His promises guide you into rest as you sit by the lake, the water lapping gently, the birds singing above, the sunlight warming your skin. God's love all around you, calling you to rest in Him. Let us begin with Psalm 23, a song of David, a shepherd's prayer that has comforted God's people through the ages, a melody of peace that echoes in the valley, as we read in Psalm 23:1-3, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures, He leads me beside still waters, He restores my soul." Imagine David sitting on a hillside, his flock grazing peacefully, his harp in hand, his heart lifted in praise as he sings of the God who shepherds him, who leads him to rest, who restores his soul, who guides him with love, who cares for him with tenderness, who gives him peace, who fills him with hope, just as He does for you, beloved, in this valley, by this lake, in this moment, as you rest in His care, as you trust in His love, as you surrender to His peace. Breathe deeply now. Inhale the comfort of these words. Let them fill your heart. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale any fears that linger. Let them drift away like the ripples on the lake, carried far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul. Let your heart echo David's song. Let your soul rest in the green pastures of God's love. Let your spirit be led beside the still waters of his peace, knowing he is your shepherd, your guide, your rest, your hope, your love. As you sit in the valley, the hills singing, the lake reflecting, God's presence all around you, calling you to rest in him. Now let us turn to Psalm 91, a song of protection and trust, a prayer that has sheltered God's people through every storm, a promise that wraps you in safety, as we read in Psalm 91, 1-2. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. Imagine the psalmist standing in a desert, the sun blazing above, the sands stretching endlessly around, yet finding shade in the shadow of God's wings, a refuge from the heat, a fortress from the storm, a shelter from the fear, a place of peace, a place of hope, a place of love, just as you find in this valley, by this lake, in this moment, as you rest in the shadow of the Almighty, as you trust in his care, as you abide in his presence, as you surrender to his peace. Picture the hills around the lake, now rising like a fortress, their slopes a shield, their peaks a crown, a symbol of God's protection, a reminder of his love, a call to rest in the one who is your refuge, your fortress, your God, your peace, your hope, your love. As you sit by the lake, the water reflecting the sky, the birds singing above, God's presence all around you, calling you to rest in him. Breathe slowly. Inhale the safety of these words. Let them fill your heart. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale your worries. Let them fade like the shadows on the hills, carried far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul. Let your heart echo the psalmist's prayer. Let your soul abide in the shadow of the Almighty. Let your spirit rest in the shelter of his love, knowing he is your refuge, your fortress, your peace, your hope, your love, as you sit in the valley, the lake shimmering, the hills standing guard, God's presence all around you, calling you to rest in him. Now let us turn to Psalm 33, a song of praise for God's steadfast love, a hymn that celebrates his creation and his care, a melody that fills the valley with joy, as we read in Psalm 33, 4-5. For the word of the Lord is upright, and all his work is done in faithfulness. He loves righteousness and justice. The earth is full of the steadfast love of the Lord. Imagine the psalmist standing on a mountaintop, the world spread out below, the sky above a canvas of blue. His heart lifted in praise as he sings of the God whose word is true, whose work is faithful, whose love fills the earth, whose peace restores the soul, whose hope lights the way, just as he does for you, beloved, in this valley, by this lake, in this moment, as you rest in his faithfulness, as you trust in his love, as you surrender to his peace, as you abide in his hope. The valley around you comes alive with the song of Psalm 33, the lake sparkling like a jewel, the hills blooming with wildflowers, the birds soaring in the sky, all singing of God's steadfast love, all praising his faithfulness, all calling you to rest in the one who fills the earth with his love, who fills your heart with his peace, who fills your life with his hope, as you sit by the lake, the sunlight glowing, the valley singing, God's presence all around you, calling you to rest in him. Let your body relax further, feel your arms soften, your legs release, every muscle surrendering to his care, every tension fading into the sunlight, every worry dissolving into his peace, as if you are lying on the grass by the lake, the water lapping gently, the hills standing guard, the birds singing above. God's love holding you, his peace surrounding you, his hope lifting you. As you rest in the sacred journey of the Psalms, their words a lullaby, their promises a comfort, their melody a call to sleep in his gentle arms. As you rest by the tranquil lake in the serene valley, the sacred words of the Psalms echoing through the hills like a gentle song, their melodies of God's peace and hope filling your heart with warmth, let us now turn to the sacred practice of relaxation and meditation, a divine invitation to deepen your rest, to draw closer to God's presence, to let his love and peace wash over you like a soothing balm, guiding you into a deeper state of calm and connection with the one who holds you in his gentle arms. Imagine the valley now bathed in the soft light of late afternoon, the sunlight casting long shadows across the lake, the hills around you glowing with a golden hue, the air filled with the scent of lavender and pine, as if the valley itself is preparing a sacred space for you, a sanctuary where you can release every tension, every worry, every thought, and simply be in God's presence, letting his peace, his hope, his love fill you completely, renewing your body, renewing your mind, renewing your spirit with his divine touch. Picture yourself sitting on a soft blanket of grass by the lake, the water's edge just inches from your feet, the gentle lapping of the waves a soothing rhythm, the sunlight warm on your skin, the breeze whispering through the trees, as if God himself is creating a moment of stillness, a moment of peace, a moment of love, a moment to rest in him, as Psalm 46:10 calls to you. Be still and know that I am God. This is your sanctuary tonight, a holy place where you can let go, where you can surrender, where you can rest, where you can be held by the one who never leaves, who never forsakes, who loves you with an everlasting love. As you sit by the lake, the valley around you, the sunlight above you, God's presence all around you, calling you to rest in him. Begin by finding a comfortable position on your bed, ensuring your pillow cradles your head just right, your blankets wrap you in warmth, your body feels at ease, ready to surrender to this sacred moment of relaxation and meditation, ready to let go of all that weighs you down, ready to rest in God's gentle arms. Let your legs stretch out gently, feel your feet relax, your toes soften, as if they are dipping into the cool waters of the lake, the water soothing, the earth beneath you grounding, God's peace holding you, his love surrounding you, his hope lifting you, as you rest in this moment, as you surrender to his care. Let your arms rest by your sides. Feel your hands loosen, your fingers uncurl, as if they are resting on the soft grass by the lake, the sunlight kissing your skin, the breeze brushing your hands, God's tender touch soothing every part of you, his peace filling you, his love holding you, his hope guiding you, as you rest in this moment, as you surrender to his care. Breathe deeply now. Inhale through your nose. Let the air fill your lungs slowly. Let it expand your chest. Let it bring you closer to God's presence. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale through your mouth. Let the breath leave you gently, taking with it any tension, any worry, any fear. leaving only peace, only calm, only love, only hope in its place. Repeat this breath. Inhale deeply. Let God's peace fill you. Let it flow into every part of you. Let it wash over you like the waves on the lake. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale slowly. Let every care drift away, like leaves floating on the water, carried far from your body, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul, far from your heart. Feel your shoulders soften. Let them sink into the bed. Imagine the weight of the day melting away, like the sunlight fading into the horizon, dissolving into nothingness, leaving only lightness, only peace, only rest, only love. As God's presence surrounds you, as His peace fills you, as His hope lifts you, as His care holds you close. Let your neck relax, feel the tension in your jaw release, your face soften, as if the gentle breeze in the valley is brushing across your skin, whispering God's love, whispering His peace, whispering His hope, whispering His care, calling you to rest in Him, calling you to be still, calling you to surrender, calling you to sleep in His gentle arms. Breathe deeply again. Inhale His presence. Let it fill you. Let it flow through you. Let it calm you. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale your fears. Let them fade like the shadows in the valley, carried far from your heart, far from your soul, far from your spirit, far from your mind, far from your body. Imagine the lake now shimmering in the sunlight, its waters clear and calm, reflecting the blue of the sky, the gold of the sun, the green of the hills, each ripple a reflection of God's peace, each wave a whisper of His love, each sparkle a glimmer of His hope, inviting you to let go, to surrender, to rest, to be still, as you sit on the grass, your hands resting on the blanket, your feet near the water, the sensation soothing, calming, grounding, as if God Himself is washing away every worry, every fear, every burden, replacing them with His peace, His hope, His love, His care, as you rest in this moment, as you surrender to His presence. Feel your breath become a rhythm, a sacred dance with God's presence, each inhale drawing you closer to Him, each exhale releasing all that weighs you down, leaving only peace, only calm, only rest, only love, only hope. As you sit by the lake, the valley around you, the sunlight above you, the breeze whispering through the trees, God's love all around you, calling you to rest in Him, calling you to be still, calling you to sleep in His gentle arms as you prepare for the sacred journey ahead, the promise of His kingdom in your dreams, the warmth of His love in your heart, the peace of His presence in your soul, the hope of His care in your spirit. As you sit by the tranquil lake in the serene valley, your breath a sacred rhythm aligning with God's presence, the sunlight casting a golden glow, the psalms echoing through the hills like a gentle lullaby. Let us now turn to the sacred act of prayer and blessing, lifting your heart to the One who hears every whisper, who answers every cry, who blesses you with His eternal love, guiding you deeper into rest through the power of communion with Him. A moment of connection that wraps you in His peace, His hope, His care, His love. Imagine the valley now bathed in the soft light of evening, the sun dipping below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of lavender and rose, the lake reflecting the first stars of the night. The hills around you glowing with a quiet radiance, as if heaven itself is opening above, a gentle glow descending like a cascade of grace. God's presence filling the space, His love surrounding you, His peace enveloping you, His hope lifting you, as you prepare to offer your heart in prayer, to receive His blessing, to rest in His gentle arms as you sit by the lake, the valley around you, the stars above you, God's love all around you, calling you to rest in Him. Begin by lifting your heart to God, speaking to Him as a child to a loving Father, knowing He hears you, as Psalm 34:17 assures us, "When the righteous cry for help, the Lord hears and delivers them out of all their troubles." Let your prayer be simple. Let your words be honest. Let your heart be open as you whisper, "Father God, I thank you for your love, for your peace, for your hope, for your presence that surrounds me tonight, for the sacred words of the Psalms that guide me, for the valley where I rest in your embrace, for the lake that reflects your peace, for the sunlight that warms me with your love, for the hills that stand as a testament to your care." Breathe deeply now. Inhale His presence. Let it fill your heart. Let it flow through you. Let it calm you. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale your cares. Let them drift away like the twilight fading into night, carried far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul, far from your body. Continue your prayer, beloved, speaking to the One who never turns away, who always listens, who always loves. Lord, I thank you for seeing my every tear, for hearing my every prayer, for knowing my every longing, for holding me in your hands, for loving me with an eternal love, for caring for me with an unending care, for giving me peace that surpasses understanding, for filling me with hope that lifts my spirit, for guiding me with your tender touch. Feel His presence draw closer. Imagine His hand resting gently on your shoulder, His voice soft and reassuring. "My child, I hear you, I see you, I love you, I am with you always," as Matthew 28:20 promises. "Behold, I am with you always, to the end of the age." Feel His love surround you. Feel His peace fill you. Feel His hope lift you. Feel His care hold you, as you sit by the lake, the stars above you, the hills around you, the valley, a sanctuary, God's presence all around you, calling you to rest in Him. Breathe slowly. Inhale His promise. Let it fill your heart. Let it flow through you. Let it calm you. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale your fears. Let them fade like the shadows in the valley, carried far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul, far from your body. Now let your prayer turn to a request, a plea for rest, for peace, for dreams filled with His glory, as you whisper, "Father, I ask for a deep, restful sleep tonight, for dreams that reflect your kingdom, for a heart that rests in your love, for a mind that finds peace in your presence, for a spirit that soars in your hope, for a body that releases all tension, all worry, all fear, surrendering fully to your care, to your peace, to your love, to your hope." Imagine the stars above the lake growing brighter, as if God Himself is answering your prayer, His voice echoing through the valley. My child, I give you rest, I give you peace, I give you dreams of my glory, I give you my love. As Psalm 127:2 reminds us, it is in vain that you rise up early and go late to rest, for He gives to His beloved sleep. Feel His answer wrap around you, feel His peace fill you, feel His love hold you, feel His hope lift you, as you sit by the lake, the valley around you, the stars above you, God's presence all around you, calling you to rest in Him. Breathe deeply. Inhale. His answer, let it fill your heart, let it flow through you, let it calm you. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale your cares. Let them drift away like the starlight on the lake, carried far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul, far from your body. Now let us receive His blessing, a sacred gift from the One who loves you, a blessing to seal this moment of prayer, to guide you into rest, to fill you with His peace, as Numbers 6:24-26 declares with divine grace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up His countenance upon you and give you peace. Imagine this blessing as a cascade of starlight, pouring over you like a gentle rain, each word a drop of grace, each phrase a touch of love, each promise a seal of peace, wrapping you in His presence, covering you with His care, filling you with His hope, surrounding you with His love as you rest by the lake, the valley a sanctuary, the stars a canopy, the hills a fortress. God's love all around you, calling you to rest in Him. The Lord bless you, beloved. Let His light shine upon you. Let His face turn toward you. Let His grace surround you. Let His peace fill you. Let His love hold you. Let His hope lift you as you rest in this moment. The lake reflecting the stars, the valley whispering His promises, the sunlight fading into night, God's love your sanctuary, His peace your lullaby, His hope your dream, His care your rest. Let your body relax further. Feel your arms soften, your legs release, every muscle surrendering to His care, every tension fading into the starlight, every worry dissolving into His peace, as if you are floating on the lake, the water supporting you, the stars guiding you, God's presence holding you, His love surrounding you, as you rest in this moment, as you surrender to His peace, as you sleep in His gentle arms, as you rest by the tranquil lake in the serene valley, enveloped in the starlight of God's blessing, feeling the warmth of His prayers over you, the hills whispering His peace, the lake reflecting His love. Let us now turn our hearts to the breathtaking beauty of His creation, the imagery of nature that reflects His glory, a masterpiece painted by His hand to remind you of His eternal love, His tender care, His boundless peace, guiding you deeper into rest through the wonders of the world He made for you. A world that sings of His presence, His hope, His love. Imagine the valley now expanding into a vast, rolling landscape, the lake giving way to a shimmering river, its waters winding through emerald meadows, where wildflowers bloom in every hue, lavender purples, golden yellows, fiery reds, their petals swaying in the evening breeze, their colors a symphony of God's creativity, their fragrance a whisper of His love, their beauty a testament to His care. as Psalm 104:24 declares with awe, O Lord, how manifold are your works! In wisdom have you made them all. The earth is full of your creatures. The meadows stretch toward the horizon, where the moon rises, its silver light casting a gentle glow, painting the sky with a tapestry of stars. A canvas of God's glory, a masterpiece of His love, a reflection of His eternal nature, inviting you to marvel at the One who created it all, to rest in His presence, to soak in His peace, to abide in His hope, to be held by His love. Breathe deeply now. Inhale the beauty of this scene. Let it fill your heart. Let it flow through you. Let it calm you. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale your cares. Let them drift away like the clouds above the meadows, carried far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul, far from your body. Picture a towering forest rising beyond the meadows, its trees ancient and wise, their branches reaching toward the sky, their leaves whispering in the wind, their roots deep into the earth, a testament to God's strength, a reflection of His glory, as Psalm 96:12 proclaims, Let the field exult, and everything in it. Then shall all the trees of the forest sing for joy. The forest stands as a sanctuary of creation, its canopy a shelter of green, its paths a journey of peace, its beauty a song of God's love, calling you to rest in the One who planted every tree, who knows every leaf, who cares for every sparrow, who loves you with an everlasting love. As you walk through the forest, the moonlight filtering through the branches, the air cool and fresh, God's presence all around you, calling you to rest in Him. Breathe slowly. Inhale the majesty of the forest. Let it fill your heart. Let it flow through you. Let it calm you. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale your fears. Let them fade like the shadows on the forest floor, carried far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul, far from your body. Imagine a mighty waterfall cascading down a cliff in the forest, its waters roaring with power, its mist rising like a veil, its spray catching the moonlight in a rainbow of colors, a picture of God's might, a reflection of His love, as Psalm 93:4 declares, Mightier than the thunders of many waters, mightier than the waves of the sea. The Lord on high is mighty. The waterfall's roar sings of God's glory, its flow a dance of His creativity, its depth a mirror of His care, its sound a lullaby of His peace, inviting you to rest in the One who commands the waters, who shapes the cliffs, who loves you with a love that never ends as you stand by the waterfall, the mist on your skin, the roar in your ears, God's presence all around you, calling you to rest in Him. Picture yourself sitting on a mossy rock by the waterfall, the spray cooling your face, the moonlight casting a silver glow, the forest around you alive with the songs of crickets, the beauty of creation, a testament to God's love, a reminder of His care, a call to rest in the One who made it all, as Genesis 1:31 reminds us. And God saw everything that He had made, and behold, it was very good. The night sky above the forest stretches endlessly, the stars twinkling like a celestial choir, their light piercing the darkness, a song of God's glory, as Psalm 148:3 calls out, Praise him, sun and moon, praise him, all you shining stars. The stars shine like 1,000,000 candles, their patterns a map of God's creativity, their brilliance a reflection of his love, their presence a reminder of his care, their light a guide to his peace, leading you deeper into rest as you sit by the waterfall, the forest around you, the stars above you. God's love all around you, calling you to rest in him. Imagine a herd of deer grazing in the meadow beyond the forest, their movements graceful, their eyes gentle, a picture of God's care, as Matthew 6:26 assures us. Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? The deer move through the meadow with quiet trust, their presence a reminder of God's provision, their beauty a song of his love, their peace a call to rest in the one who cares for every creature, who loves you with an everlasting love, as you sit by the waterfall, the meadow in the distance, the stars above, God's love all around you, calling you to rest in him. Let your body relax further. Feel your arms soften, your legs release, every muscle surrendering to his care, every tension fading into the moonlight, every worry dissolving into his peace, as if you are lying on the mossy rock, the waterfall roaring, the forest whispering, the stars shining, God's love holding you, his peace surrounding you, his hope lifting you, his care guiding you into rest, as you prepare for the sacred journey ahead, the promise of his kingdom in your dreams, the warmth of his love in your heart, the peace of his presence in your soul, the hope of his care in your spirit. As you sit by the roaring waterfall in the ancient forest, the moonlight casting a silver glow over the meadows, the deer grazing peacefully, the stars above singing of God's glory, let us now turn to the comforting stories of biblical figures, men and women who walked with God, who found solace in his presence, whose lives echo his eternal love, his tender care, his boundless peace, guiding you deeper into rest through their examples of faith, trust, and hope in the one who never fails. A journey that soothes your heart and leads you to sleep in his gentle arms. Imagine the forest now fading into a vision of ancient times, the moonlight parting like a curtain to reveal a sandy desert under a blazing sun, where Moses stands, his staff in hand, his face radiant with God's glory, having spoken with the Lord face to face, as Exodus 33:11 tells us. Thus the Lord used to speak to Moses face to face, as a man speaks to his friend. Moses faced the trials of leading his people through the wilderness, the weight of their doubts, the challenge of their rebellion. Yet he found comfort in God's presence, in his promise, in his love, as he penned in Psalm 91, "Lord, you have been our dwelling place in all generations." Picture Moses turning to you now, his eyes filled with the light of God's glory, his voice steady and kind. Trust in the Lord, for he is your dwelling place, your refuge, your strength, your peace, your hope, your love. Breathe deeply now. Inhale the comfort of Moses' story. Let it fill your heart. Let it flow through you. Let it calm you. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale your fears. Let them drift away like the desert sands, carried far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul, far from your body. Let your heart echo Moses' prayer. Let your soul find its home in God, Let your spirit rest in his presence, knowing he is your dwelling place, your shelter, your peace, your hope, your love. Just as he was for Moses, guiding you through every wilderness, every trial, every moment as you sit by the waterfall, the forest around you, the stars above you, God's love all around you, calling you to rest in him. Now let the vision shift to a rugged hillside under a starry sky, where David, the shepherd king, sits with his harp, his sheep grazing nearby, his heart lifted in song as he faced giants, enemies, and failures, yet always found comfort in God's presence, as Psalm 23:4 assures us. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Imagine David standing before Goliath, his faith unwavering, his heart trusting in God's deliverance, as 1 Samuel 17:45 records, "You come to me with a sword and with a spear and with a javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts." David's story is a melody of comfort, a reminder that God is with you in every valley, every battle, every moment. His presence your shield, his love your strength, his peace your comfort, his hope your light, as you sit by the waterfall, the forest whispering, the stars shining. God's love all around you, calling you to rest in him. Breathe slowly. Inhale the comfort of David's story. Let it fill your heart. Let it flow through you. Let it calm you. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale your worries. Let them fade like the starlight on the waterfall, carried far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul, far from your body. Let your heart sing with David. Let your soul trust in God's presence. Let your spirit rest in his comfort, knowing he is with you, just as he was with David, guiding you through every storm, every trial, every moment, as you sit in the forest, the waterfall roaring, the stars above, God's love all around you, calling you to rest in him. Now let the vision shift to a golden field in Bethlehem, where Esther, a woman of courage and faith, stands, her heart filled with trust, her eyes lifted to God, as she risked her life to save her people, finding strength in his provision, as Esther 4:14 declares. And who knows whether you have not come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Imagine Esther approaching the king, her steps steady, her faith unshaken, her heart resting in God's care, knowing he had placed her there for a purpose of deliverance, a purpose of hope, a purpose of love. Just as he has a purpose for you, beloved, in every moment, in every trial, in every step, as you sit by the waterfall, the forest around you, the stars above you, God's love all around you, calling you to rest in him. Picture Esther turning to you now, her eyes gentle, her voice soft. Trust in the Lord, for he has a purpose for you, a plan for your good, a hope for your future, a love that never fails. Esther's story is a beacon of comfort, a reminder that God places you where you are for a reason, that he delivers, that he redeems, that he loves, even in the unknown, even in the challenges, even in the night, as you rest in his care, as you trust in his plan, as you surrender to his peace, as you abide in his hope, as you sleep in his gentle arms. Breathe deeply. Inhale the comfort of Esther's story. Let it fill your heart. Let it flow through you. Let it calm you. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale your fears. Let them drift away like the mist from the waterfall, carried far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul, far from your body. Let your heart echo Esther's faith. Let your soul trust in God's purpose. Let your spirit rest in His redemption, knowing He is with you, just as He was with Esther, guiding you, loving you, providing for you, redeeming you. As you sit in the forest, the waterfall a melody, the stars a canopy, the meadows a reminder, God's love all around you, calling you to rest in Him, calling you to sleep in His gentle arms. As you prepare for the sacred journey ahead, the promise of His kingdom in your dreams, the warmth of His love in your heart, the peace of His presence in your soul, the hope of His care in your spirit. As you draw comfort from the stories of Moses, David, and Esther, their faith echoing through the ages like a gentle song, their trust in God, a guiding light in the forest where you sit, the waterfall's roar a melody of His glory, the meadows blooming with His peace. Let us now turn to the sacred call to rest in the Lord, an invitation to surrender every burden, every worry, every fear, to the One who never sleeps, who holds you in His eternal embrace, guiding you into the deepest rest through the promise of His unending presence, a rest that wraps you in His love, His hope, His care, His peace. Imagine the forest now bathed in the soft glow of dawn, the first light of morning filtering through the trees, casting a golden hue over the waterfall, the meadows in the distance awakening with the songs of birds, the air filled with the scent of dew and pine. A new day dawning, a new promise rising, as God Himself calls you to rest, His voice gentle and tender. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. As Matthew 11:28 beckons with divine love. This is your moment, beloved, to let go, to surrender, to rest in the One who never slumbers, who watches over you with eyes of love, who holds you close through every moment, as Psalm 121:3-4 assures us, He who keeps you will not slumber. Behold, He who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. Breathe deeply now. Inhale the promise of His rest. Let it fill your heart. Let it flow through you. Let it calm you. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale your burdens. Let them drift away with the morning breeze, carried far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul, far from your body. Picture yourself lying on the mossy rock by the waterfall, the forest around you alive with the dawn, the sunlight filtering through the leaves, the birds singing a song of praise, the waterfall's gentle mist cooling your skin, God's presence surrounding you, His love holding you, His peace filling you, His hope lifting you, as Psalm 4:8 whispers with tender assurance, In peace I will both lie down and sleep, for you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. Let your body sink into the rock, feel its coolness beneath you, feel the sunlight warming your skin, feel the breeze brushing your face, Feel God's presence enveloping you, His love surrounding you, His peace filling you, His hope lifting you as you surrender to His call to rest, as you let go of every worry, as you trust in His care, as you abide in His love. Breathe slowly. Inhale His peace. Let it fill your heart. Let it flow through you. Let it calm you. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale your fears. Let them fade like the morning mist, carried far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul, far from your body. Imagine God Himself sitting beside you on the rock, His presence a warm light, His hand resting gently on your shoulder, His voice soft and reassuring. My child, rest in me, for I am with you. I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. As Hebrews 13:5 promises with eternal truth, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Feel His presence draw closer. Feel His love surround you. Feel His peace fill you. Feel His hope lift you as you rest in His embrace. The waterfall singing His glory, the forest whispering His peace, the sunlight glowing with His love, the meadows blooming with His hope. God's presence all around you, calling you to rest in Him. Let your heart surrender to His call. Let your mind release every worry. Let your spirit trust in His promise. Let your body relax completely as you rest in the One who never sleeps, who never slumbers, who watches over you with eyes of love, who holds you in His hands, who loves you with an everlasting love as you lie by the waterfall, the forest a sanctuary, the sunlight a caress, God's love all around you, calling you to rest in Him. Breathe deeply, inhale His love. Let it fill your heart, let it flow through you, let it calm you. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale your cares. Let them drift away with the breeze, carried far from your heart, far from your mind, far from your spirit, far from your soul, far from your body. Picture a single star above the forest, brighter than the rest, its light piercing the dawn, a symbol of God's presence, a reminder of His promise, a call to rest, as Isaiah 40:31 declares, But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. This star shines for you, beloved, a light to guide you, a promise to hold you, a call to rest in the One who renews your strength, who lifts you up, who gives you peace, who loves you with an everlasting love. As you lie by the waterfall, the forest around you, the star above you, God's love all around you, calling you to rest in Him. Let your body relax further. Feel your arms soften, your legs release, every muscle surrendering to His care, every tension fading into the sunlight, every worry dissolving into His peace, as if you are floating in the waterfall's pool, the water supporting you, the sunlight warming you, God's presence holding you, His love surrounding you, His peace filling you, His hope lifting you, as you rest in this moment, as you surrender to His care. Imagine the birds in the forest now singing a song of praise, their melodies rising with the dawn, a picture of God's care, a reminder of His love, as Zephaniah 3:17 proclaims, The Lord your God is in your midst, a mighty one who will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you by His love. He will exult over you with loud singing. Feel his love quiet you. Feel his song soothe you. Feel his presence hold you as you rest by the waterfall, the forest a sanctuary, the birds a choir, the sunlight a blessing. God's love your home, his peace your lullaby, his hope your dream, his care your rest. Let sleep come now, a sacred gift from the God who never sleeps, who holds you in his gentle arms, who loves you with an everlasting love. As you rest in the forest, the waterfall a melody, the star a guide, the dawn a promise. God's love all around you, calling you to sleep in his gentle arms, as you drift into dreams of his kingdom, as you abide in his love, as you rest in his peace, as you soar in his hope.